Pornhub, a true story. I want to share with you, Warrior, something that happened. I was thinking about this a couple of weeks back, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was talking with someone and they relayed a story to me. And the story goes as follow. Pay attention. The story is a 10-year-old boy showed another little boy, 6 years old. Come here, I want to show you something. 6-year-old boy, inquisitive, right? Child. And said, okay. And the 10-year-old boy said, okay, type this in to the browser. Okay, type this in. Porn, Porn, .hub, or something to that effect. And the little boy said, hey, the 6-year-old, what is this? What is this? Apparently then the 10-year-old boy did it for the 6-year-old and gave the device to the 6-year-old and said, hey, look at this. And the 6-year-old didn't even know what he was looking at. Now the 6-year-old had the good sense to go to mom then and report on the 10-year-old boy. And the mom was taken aback. Now, we applaud the child and we applaud the mom for taking these steps. The child knowing to go to the trusted adult, the mom, and the mom knowing to talk to her child about this. But here's what I want to tell you, and this is a common story we hear at the Warriors, and something I don't understand, frankly, and everybody has to get over. The mom then went to the mom of the 10-year-old boy and said, I want to talk to you about what your child, and I'm not using obviously names or any of that, but the story was, I want to talk to you about what happened. And the mother of the 10-year-old who perpetrated all of this, with a 6-year-old, by the way, was quite offended and said, my child wouldn't do that. And it must have been your child that did that. And you're blaming my child and the whole thing. Craziness. Now, we as the adults, the parents, should be able to say, living in this world, I don't care if you have just basic knowledge of devices, you should know something by 2025. Wherever the children are, so are the predators. Whatever devices are in their possession, so are the predators. So you have a 10-year-old with a phone, okay? And then you have a 6-year-old. And I believe they were over one's house visiting, something like that, very close friends. And instead of this mother attacking the other mom, I wish, and something we teach at the Warriors and preach about is, okay, this mother of the 6-year-old had the good sense, to talk to her child. I'm glad you came to me. This is, not good content. This is something you shouldn't be looking at, and squelched it from what we know about. Because many kids don't go to their trusted adult, their parent, their guardian. They don't say anything. And they go back because their little brains can't comprehend. They don't even know what they saw. And they go back looking for more. So now this 6-year-old has Pornhub, knows how to get on Pornhub. This feeds into why we fight so hard at the Warriors for age verification, which we work on extensively, because you check a box. Are you 18? You check a box, you're in. Okay, there's something wrong with all of this, right? Especially, when I can put out content that is facts and truth about any of this exploitation, and I'm censored, and I'm just trying to bring you information you may not hear on any other platforms. So then the mom of the 10-year-old, highly incensed. And when the families wanted to get together again, the 10-year-old made a big scene and said, I'm not allowed to be alone with you because you're a trouble 6-year-old. And we have to have our adults with us because you tell lies about me. And the whole thing was wrong. So we at the Warriors applaud. Let this be a lesson that these things are real. These things are happening. We just don't talk about them. These are happening across America. They're happening in your home. A reminder, Be mindful of the devices your children have in their possession. Be mindful of what they're doing on them. Now, we agree, you can't be looking every minute about everything, right? But it starts with the conversations, the discussion about what's going on with your child. Here we have an example of a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, and 2 mothers, and a lot of disruption. These conversations have to be had, age appropriate. These conversations. And that mother is doing such a disservice to her 10-year-old because she should be having the conversation. Not yelling, screaming, why did you do that? Look what you did. Sitting down at age 10 and explaining why this is wrong, why this is harmful. Because we know children who do this from studies, they repeat this behavior. They put this behavior onto younger kids a lot of the times. They also reenact, and we're a family program, so use your mind here. They reenact what they visually see on other children. We have a lot of that going on. This child, this 10-year-old, needs to be spoken to. This needs to be addressed now because this child knows that they lied. This child knows that they can't speak to their parent about, kids are curious, right? Pornography. If they see something, they should be able to go to the parent, ask what it is. Why am I seeing this? What happened? Whatever the circumstances. This child, for some reason, unable to do that. This child learned how to go on this site from somebody. Who is that person? This child is trying to get younger kids involved in this. It's not a good scene, warriors. So we want all of you, warriors, take action. Talk to your kids. Whether they're 2, age appropriate, and I mean that, you've got to start right away. I used to traditionally say, we got to start with our teens. And then over the years it became, we got to start in middle school. Now it's right out of the gate. And I'm talking starting at 2 years old, you got to keep an eye on things. You've got to keep an eye on who's around your children. You've got to keep an eye on everything. As the children get older, you must talk to them. Here's a prime example of a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old and all of this going on. And who knows what this 10-year-old is going through, perhaps feelings of shame. And who knows now with the 6-year-old, because I've had people my age say to me, they saw things as children and they never got it out of their minds. So think about that, a lifetime of something like this. A reminder always, it's a different world. Nobody's fault, but it is our job as the adults to talk to the kids, to talk to the teens, to make them feel empowered that they can come to us and that they can ask questions. And we're not going to yell at them. We're not going to scream. We're not going to be embarrassed. We're going to talk to them age appropriately. Please always follow lynswarriors.org. Please follow our X account, also Facebook and Instagram. Stay with the program. Things are changing on a daily basis, and I know it's hard to keep up with, but we must, because this is an example of a story I hear quite frequently, how kids are accessing content that they shouldn't be looking at, that nobody should be looking at. And why is this allowed to flourish and happen? But it is, and so we're going to have to deal with it. Remember, please honor our hashtag Community Creates Change. And each and every day when you wake up, think about everything we do and say at the Warriors, and you, in your own home, in your community, go out and be a warrior.